If this video gets 10 likes, I'll record myself fighting the monkey for the first time in Monster Hunter. Okay, video. Fellas, bros, my gamers, we are in a bit of a power emergency.
Oh my God!
My power situation is at an all-time low, and I so desperately need to get nuclear power up and running so that I no longer have to worry about energy the rest of the game. We must be swift. We must be efficient. We must. If these damn biters stop getting in my way! As per usual, the biters continue their never-ending campaign on my walls and my stuff. I do not like that. So, not only do I need to constantly push them back, I need to get an entire uranium processing plant set up, as well as a nuclear reactor set up, so that I can use said processed uranium. My God, do I have my work cut out for me on this episode? I mean, honestly, I was clearing out machines that were no longer in use, then boom! Spider at my copper mining outpost. But we have a tank, so it was swiftly dealt with, along with the nearby nest that it came from. Oh my God, though, it feels like these biters expand faster as time goes on. Like those biters that I cleared out last episode, well, new nests have taken their place. My defenses are holding them off for now, but my turrets are taking a small amount of damage every time. All the more reason to have bots set up so that they can make repairs for me, and I don't have to keep running back and forth and wasting more time. But like clockwork, as I was heading back to my base, something really wanted to greet me in my return. Oh. Okay. At this point, I can't even be mad. The rails are essentially a part of my base now, and I'm always walking all over them. Now let's get back to the task at hand. Uranium processing. First, we need machines that can process those yummy green rocks. A centrifuge. It's not used for many things, but it is heavily needed to process the uranium so we can make nuclear fuel. But before I can go into any more detail, I need to build them first. First step is getting concrete automated. This is detrimental and is needed in bulk to make the gear for nuclear power. Plus, it's really nice to eat.
Huh?
Anyway, next is actually mining the uranium itself. I can't simply just put an electric mining drill on it and hook it up to power. It's going to need sulfuric acid to help break the ore. And it's also a great drink to go with the concrete. Anyway, sulfuric acid isn't really that hard to make. Just take some iron plates, sulfur, and water, mix it all in a chemical plant, and bada bing, bada boom, sulfuric acid has been made. Just gotta pump it into a train and haul it off to the uranium ore patch that is conveniently next to my coal patch, so I don't even need to make an outpost. Yay! My God, our steel is really struggling to keep up, but it shall be upgraded in due time before we will have a shiny new electric furnace setup for it. But like I said, we're running out of power, so let's get nuclear set up first before we do that. So now that we have the minerals, we now need to make and place the centrifuges to refine the uranium. As for the products that refinement will produce, it will be a chance to get one of two types of uranium. The first type of uranium is 238, which has a 99.3% chance of being acquired. The other type of uranium is uranium 235. It's brighter and more sought after counterpart, for that is what we need to make the actual nuclear fuel. But there is a big downside. It has a 0.3% drop chance. Luckily, there is a way to get uranium 235 in bulk, but before I can explain what it is, I first need to be lucky enough to get 40 uranium 235, and that is going to take a good long while. So we're going to do some other things while we wait for it. Just in time too, because the biters are overstepping their bounds again, and I need to get them pushed back. And just so you know, I was streaming the game at this point in time, link in the description, go follow please. And as I was leaving to go push back those environmental protesters, I got a bot in my chat wanting to sell me view bots so I can up my view count. And that is a big no-no on Twitch, and I don't want to cheat and get my views up like that, because why would I? So the bot was rightfully banned. Speaking of bans, time to delete those biters once more from their homes.
Don't leave me here. My house. My God.
Oops, wrong game. That was odd. Anyway, now those pests are out of our hair for now, we can get to work on automating the items we need to have nuclear power set up. Those items are heat pipes, heat exchangers, steam turbines, and the reactors itself. The reactor we are just going to handcraft since it takes so many resources. I don't want everything to be taken up by that production alone, but as for everything else, it will be autocrafted, which wasn't hard at all. The heat pipes and exchangers needed extremely basic materials to make, so it was just a matter of pulling the items off of the belt bus and feeding them into the assemblers. The steam turbines themselves needed 2 items to be auto-crafted before it could then be put into the assembler to make steam turbines, but again, they were still very basic items, so no trouble there. After all of that, close to an hour had passed, and I decided to check to see how the uranium processing was doing and see how much uranium-235 I have. Man, I sure do hope I do have a lot, because I really need to get this next step going. I have 7 out of the 40 that I need. This is gonna take a hot minute. Well, while we wait some more, I can go ahead and explain how the nuclear power works, so let's go head over to the creative world. Alright, here we are in the creative world, and this is going to be the nuclear setup that we're going to be using. This build. Okay, so yes, this does look pretty big, but we're going to walk through it. So these 4 things right here are the nuclear reactors. Neat little thing about nuclear reactors is that if they are next to each other, then they will have a bonus. It's called a neighbor bonus, as you can see right there at the right of the screen. So the more of these that are connected, the bigger the output it'll be. And so once each of these are given nuclear fuels, the temperature will then start to climb. And then the temperature will be dispersed through these heat pipes. And these heat pipes will then disperse their heat into the heat exchangers. And if we pump water into these heat exchangers, they will boil the water, turning them into steam, and they'll actually turn it into much hotter steam than what electric engines can do. And that much hotter steam would then be pumped into these steam turbines, which, yes, they can still use the regular steam from they can still use the regular steam from these regular boilers right here. However, it won't produce as much power. If it uses the much hotter steam from the heat exchangers, then it'll produce the full power that it is capable of, which is 5.8 megawatts, compared to the steam engine, which can only generate 900 kilowatts. So this is equivalent to about 5 of these. One of these is equivalent to 5 of these, essentially, or rounding the numbers. Yeah, back to the real world. By the way, if you're interested in that reactor setup, I will leave a link down below to where I got it. You know, stamping down this blueprint and placing every single part is really making me want to get bots, but I don't have the power necessary, which is why we're making this, obviously. We will soon enough, though. We will soon. Alrighty, now that the reactor setup is all done, we still don't have enough bright green rocks to start it up, but we are halfway to getting what we need. We could do one more thing while we wait for the rest to appear, and that is the Kovarex enrichment process. This is an amazing process that basically lets us make more uranium-235. Once more, let's head over to the creative world so that I can explain. Okay, back in the creative world, and this is the Kovarex enrichment. So basically what this does is that it takes 40 of the bright green rocks, the uranium-235, and 5 of the dark green rocks, uranium-238. And after a little while, 41 of the bright green uranium will be pumped out along with 2 of the dark green uranium. So with every 40 that gets put in here, 1 will come out, which is exactly what we need. And this, if I can get it right, there we go. This is what's going to be used for the overworld for the Kovarex enrichment setup. Now, again, I'm not going to go through how I'm going to build this. That link will be down in the description along with the nuclear reactor setup. Basically, what this does is ensure the most efficient way possible to produce this, because this right here can store up to 80 of these bright green rocks, and we don't need that to happen. We just need 40. So this system basically tells everything here to just keep 40 in here at all times, while the other 20 can be used elsewhere when we can actually use them for the fuel. Yeah, back to the real world. Okay, well, I've done everything I can. I don't have any more power generation to spare, so I'm just AFK for a bit till I have enough uranium-235 to make more. Oh my god, that took so long. But now that we are making a surplus of uranium-235, we can now take the extras and feed them into a simulator with the dark uranium and iron plates to then make nuclear fuel. Then we just belt them over to the reactors to turn them on, wait for them to heat up to produce the steam, and presto! We have power. Holy shit, we have a lot of it too. We used to produce like 72 megawatts with 80 steam engines, but now with the 80 steam turbines, we can produce up to 538 megawatts. Holy shit, we do not need power for the rest of the game. Now that we have all the power that we could ever have or need, it's time we finally make construction and logistics bots, because this space has gotten way too big, and I need construction bots to constantly repair my defenses, and the logistics bots to constantly supply me with the items that I need. First item on the list is the Roboport. This is a hub for all the robots. It acts as a charger for them when they are out working, as well as a hub for them to be stored when there are no tasks to be completed. I'm only going to have one assembler making Roboports. For this is a red circuit void. The setup I have for red circuits is huge, and that is not enough for this one assembler making Roboports. Next is the robots themselves, and that is a much bigger setup. First is batteries. It's more of an intermediate item to craft, but we basically have everything except for one liquid on the bus. And we just need one chemical plant to make that one liquid, which is the sulfuric acid. Combine the sulfuric acid with copper plates and iron plates into 6 more chemical plants making batteries, and presto, 1 out of the 4 items we need to make one of the items for robots. And I know that seems complicated, but trust me, it's really not that hard. We'll walk through it together. Next is electric motors, another intermediate item that needs regular engines to craft. Lucky for me, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so no math is required. It also requires my favorite liquid in the game, lube. As well as green circuits, but that's not as fun to say. Anyway, bit of spaghetti belting later, and boom! Electric motors, 2 out of the 4 items done. As for the remaining 2 items, steel and green circuits, those are on the bus, so 4 out of the 4 items done, baby! See, I told you it wasn't that hard. All of this is enough to feed 20 assemblers making flying robot frames, a key component for both types of robots. Both recipes for logistics and construction bots are different, but the key difference is just the different circuits. Both circuits are on the bus, so no extra crafting is required. A tiny bit more of belt spaghetti, and we have acquired bots, baby. Oh my god, these things are amazing. They can do everything that you can do except for crafting. They can't craft stuff, but that's what the assemblers are for. With passive provider chests, the bots can use whatever is in those chests. So if I use them to store the belts and inserters, the logistics bots can resupply me if I'm below a certain number of that item. And I can even adjust what that number is. And through the use of blueprints, the construction bots will build the print that I've placed down if the items needed are in a bot chest of any kind. Now that I have bots fixing my defenses, I can get to building other things without having a need to stop now, which is amazing. And now it's time that steel production got a necessary upgrade. With the use of bots, I never have to run across the base anymore to resupply myself, so I can just keep on building without stopping. And with the new shiny electric furnaces, I can double the production without even having to worry about belting coal all the way up there. But man, these electric furnaces are bigger. These two furnace stacks look much bigger compared to the steel furnace stacks, and it's the same amount of furnaces. To make sure this gets enough iron though, I'm going to have to make 2 more iron trains and have them deliver directly to these 2 stacks. However, my old starter base is in the way of me placing the rails. But luckily for me, I now have an army of robots to deconstruct it all. I just need to have enough logistic storage boxes to store it all. My god, though, even with bots, that took a long time. Need to upgrade their speed. But with the train hooked up and the iron flowing, I can now go get to my final project for this episode, yellow science. This is the final science I need to beat the game. I am getting so close, I am starting to smell it. Anyway, yellow science. Yeah, we gotta get to that. Yellow science needs 3 things: flying robot frames, low density structures, and blue circuits. Much like the other 5 sciences that I have made, I want 60 science per minute. And for this, I'm going to make mini productions just for this science alone. First is the blue circuits. This is the final tier of circuit needing the previous 2 plus sulfuric acid to make, which is not that hard. We went over how to make all this stuff before. Next is low density structures. This is an extremely easy to make because everything that's needed is on the bus. We just need to build everything over. But I would like to forewarn people who've never played this game before, this consumes a lot of copper. So make sure the copper production is big enough. Mine is because I planned for this ahead of time. The final item is flying robot frames. We already know how to set these up, so let's just skip ahead. Now that we got all the items needed, we just need to belt them over to the pre-made yellow science assemblers that I have put down when I was getting the purple science in order. And just like that, yellow science is now flowing, and the research can now be started up once more. Oh my god, though, we have come a long way. All of this came from a ship that crashed, and now we are damn near ready to build a rocket and escape this planet that has inhabitants that constantly want me dead. We just need a few more things auto-crafted, and all that'll be left to do is wait for the rocket to be built. And I feel like we can get that done in 1 episode. Next episode. See ya. Thank you all so much for watching. This video has been a heck of a ride. You know, I was really rushing to get this one done so I can meet my 1 video a week quota, but you know what? I got it done in time. So that is fun. That is good. There is just 1 more Factorio episode left. I don't know when I want to create footage for it, but hey, man, who knows? The opportunity might come faster than I might think. And yeah, those of you who came from Monster Hunter, don't worry. I do have other stuff planned. It just is still in the works and whatnot. But like I said at the beginning of the video, if you get 10 likes, you'll see me fight Monkey for the first time, because I've actually never fought him before, despite me previously playing Iceborne. So without further ado, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be seeing you all on the next one.